Fellow Antiguans, Barbudans, and residents, greetings. Over the past few days, there has been a high level of debate and discussion at all levels of the society, focusing on the date on which the general elections should be held. As Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, and the sole authority with responsibility for setting the date of the country's general elections, I have become increasingly concerned about the undue and unnecessary bitterness and acrimony which are being so deliberately injected into what should really be seen as healthy, enriching, and enlightening discussion. While the quality of debate and discussion in many quarters is indeed elevating and constructive, I am alarmed, on the other hand, at the malicious misinformation and the level of concerted, orchestrated attempts to mislead and misguide the population. In the interest of providing clarity, it may be useful to set the records straight. Here they are. Under the provisions of the Constitution of Antigua and Barbuda, prior to general elections being held, it is mandatory that the report of the Boundaries Commission be laid and passed in the Parliament and can be executed. With respect to the registration or re-registration of voters, the Electoral Commission must complete the full exercise, including hearing and determining claims and objections, and must publish thereafter a full list of the registered electors in each constituency. In addition, I must be satisfied that the Electoral Commission is in a state of readiness. And to be so empowered, they must await the rulings of the appeal court. It is only after these two critically vital ingredients of the electoral process have been met that I can properly and legally exercise the powers that reside in me to set the date for general elections. In light of what seems to be developing, the court ought to be minded that an expeditious ruling could bring to an end the uneasiness which currently prevails in respect of the matters now engaging its attention. So what seems to be the problem? It is no secret that the courts of Antigua and Barbuda did not rule in favor of the ALP on the challenges which they brought in respect of issues which they raised on these two matters, i.e., the Boundaries Commission report and the registration exercise. As a result, Mr. Gaston Brown's Antigua Labour Party has exercised their right and has since escalated these decisions to the appeal court. Decisions from the appeal court are still being awaited. These facts are undeniable and are generally known throughout the length and breadth of the country. Until the appeal court hands down decisions with respect to both these issues, or alternatively, the ALP withdraws the matters which they have appealed, my hands are tied in setting the date for the general elections. It borders on recklessness of the highest order that any suggestion to allow convention to override the commanding authority of a country's constitution should ever be entertained, far less prescribed. Unless, of course, one is prepared to sacrifice the noble tenets of integrity for the peril of expediency. Are we to understand the erstwhile leader of the opposition to be saying to hell with the Constitution? Any action on my part in contravention of the constitutionally stated requirements will not only highly be irresponsible, but knowingly and decisively unlawful. It will also open the way for a fresh spate of legal challenges, the burden of which will certainly be too much for the people of the country to bear, either financially or psychologically. Any delay in the setting of the date of the elections, therefore, is outside of my power and authority unless and until these two hurdles have been overcome. I therefore fail to understand, nor do I appreciate the affront of the leader of the opposition, Mr. Gaston Brown, in wrongfully and deceitfully laying blame for the delay at my doorstep. If Mr. Brown is very serious and genuine about having the date for the election set as expeditiously as possible, he knows quite well exactly what he should responsibly and intelligently do. Simply withdraw the matters before the court. His only other option is to await the outcome of the appeal court's rulings. Mr. Brown will be well advised to hold his peace until such time as he chooses to exercise the only two legally binding options available to him in particular and to the nation in general. I am therefore shocked and dismayed of reports reaching my desk that the leader of the opposition, Mr. Gaston Brown, is alleged to have laid an open threat to me in my capacity as the constitutionally elected head of government to force my hands to betray the trust which my office demands of me and which the people of the country have so confidently and faithfully reposed in me as Prime Minister of our country. I want to assure my fellow citizens and residents that I shall not be swayed from promoting and defending the rights of all citizens and residents to express their views and opinions on the subject matter or on any matter whatsoever freely and openly. However, I expect that in exercising such democratic right, no threat to the social and economic stability of the nation whatsoever should be encouraged. I want to assure you, my people, that no threat of this kind, no matter how intimidating or invasive, could shake my determination to discharge my responsibilities without fear or favor. Citizens and residents of Antigua and Barbuda can rest assured that irresponsible indiscretions on the part of the leader of the opposition, Mr. Gaston Brown, will never be taken lightly or lightheartedly. My advice to him is to restrain himself from making any uncivil utterances or from engaging in any activity which is likely to have the effect, either directly or indirectly, of inciting the population in any way whatsoever. I wish to give my firm undertaking to the citizens and residents of Antigua and Barbuda that the United Progressive Party, of which I have the honor and privilege to be leader, is ready to present itself to the population one more time as the most deserving option for continued good governance of Antigua and Barbuda in the next 5 years. We are ready, more than ready, and just as prepared. All citizens and residents can be assured that, at the appropriate time, acting under the provisions of the Constitution and the powers that reside in me, I will exercise my constitutional authority to name the date of the general elections, and until such time, I expect that all law-abiding citizens and residents will join me in the call for civility and maturity as we allow the agencies associated with the best interest of our people to go about their task of preparing the way for the date to be called and the elections to be held in an atmosphere of peace, calm, and serenity. I know that I can rely on the support and cooperation of all our law-abiding citizens and residents, and I rest in the comfort of this assurance.